Hi everyone, welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If emotional deep dives into the lives of your favorite Turkish stars are your thing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join to support the channel. Today, we're sharing a confession that left an entire fandom breathless, the quiet ache and unspoken devotion of Hazal Subaşı. For a long time, Hazal treated silence like armor. It wasn't coldness, it was self-preservation. In that calm space away from flashing cameras, she tucked away the most delicate memories she shared with Erkan Meriç, memories she hadn't dared to unpack for the world. Then, during a recent interview, something shifted. You could hear it in the way her breath caught, in the soft break of her voice as she let the last wall fall. She didn't hide behind practiced lines or clever evasions. She simply spoke, and the truth trembled out. There was only one thing she had really wanted. Marriage with him. If he hadn't walked out, she said, they would probably still be side by side today. Those words startled the industry because they weren't a headline, they were a heartbeat. They painted an unfinished love, a plan paused in mid-sentence, a woman who has made a career of holding the screen yet couldn't hold back what she still felt. 4 months after they parted, Hazal avoided naming Erkan in public. She smiled, worked, moved forward as if the road beneath her feet had always been firm. But underneath the grace, beneath the polished interviews and the carefully chosen phrases, there was the lingering gravity of a story that hadn't truly ended. Close friends, the ones who know where the jokes stop and the truth begins, later said that the sadness didn't roar, it whispered. There were no messy scenes, no midnight scandals, no furious unfollow sprees. Just a heavy quiet that seemed to press on her shoulders when the day was over and the makeup came off. One friend confided that things had been planned more than anyone realized. Not just ideas floated in a late-night conversation, but actual choices, the dress that had been set aside, the beach venue with its low horizon and salt air, the song that would have carried them across a small aisle and into something bigger. And then, one morning, he was gone. No dramatic speech, no decisive farewell. Just a door closing on a life that could have been theirs. During the interview, Hazal didn't dramatize it. She let the memory sit between her words like a photograph placed on a table. She remembered the ceremony she had imagined by the sea, how she had pictured Erkan's expression, not the expression he gives to the camera, but the private one where his guard drops. She remembered expecting a message that never arrived, expecting an answer that never came. She said it with a kind of steady sorrow. He left, and with him, the future she had quietly arranged in her heart. That vulnerability pierced through the image of the untouchable star and reminded everyone watching that fame does not cushion the fall. Heartache still lands where it wants to. It doesn't ask who you are. Months drifted by, and life, for both of them, kept moving. Projects, rehearsals, brand calls, meetings, new scripts. And then came the twist that no one anticipated, a public proposal from Erkan. He appeared not in the background, not in a DM, but openly, a gesture laid out where the world could witness it. Surprise rippled through fans and industry watchers alike. Was it a grand apology or a late attempt to hold on? When Hazal addressed it, she didn't pretend she was made of stone. She admitted the moment tugged at her. Part of her wanted to step forward, to allow the memory of what they'd shared to pull her into his arms and erase the intervening months. But another part, the part that remembers silence can also wound, wanted to ask why it had taken so long. She didn't call him the villain. In fact, she said she understood that he might have thought he was doing the best thing at the time. She also insisted she had the right to say it plainly. If he hadn't vanished from their story when he did, they would still be together now. She paused, collected herself, and admitted the simple truth she had tried not to say out loud. She just wanted to marry him. The interview didn't explode because it was scandalous, it resonated because it was honest. Social media lit up with messages of support. People wrote that her voice sounded like theirs, like that universal ache of loving someone who left before the ending could be written together. Clips went viral, not because they were sensational, but because they were raw. And as viewers rewatched her scenes in Adini Sinkoy and beyond, they found in her performances a depth that felt newly illuminated. It wasn't that she had been acting pain, it was that she understood it. Every small hesitation on screen, every lingering look, suddenly felt like it carried the weight of something lived. Despite all of that vulnerability, Hazal left a crack in the door instead of slamming it. She said love doesn't simply evaporate because life gets complicated. It changes shape, it waits in the corner, it breathes elsewhere. But even as she acknowledged that some loves can endure absence, she was careful, not to the point of cynicism, but to protect herself. Did she want that love to return as it had been? She didn't know anymore. There is the heart, there is reason, there is dignity, and there is desire. Those four do not always turn in the same direction. As for Erkan, he kept quiet in public, no statements, no long captions. Yet people close to the situation hinted that he had reached out with a gentleness that suggested he knew words would not be enough now. Grand gestures can sway a crowd, but rebuilding trust is a silent craft. It is in small acts, in time, in showing up when there is no applause. That is the road he would have to walk if he truly wanted her to meet him halfway. Hazal and Erkan's story has become more than a passing headline or a nostalgic callback to the set of Adini Sinkoi. It turned into a meditation on timing, on vulnerability, on the thin line between protecting yourself and pushing away what you most want. Two people can love each other and still miss the moment when everything might have come together. That, perhaps, is the sharpest sorrow, to be ready with your whole heart just as the other person decides to step out of the frame. The interview ended on a sentence that felt like a sigh carried by the wind. The narrative wasn't neatly resolved, the future left intentionally blank. What comes next? A second chance, or a respectful goodbye that lasts forever? Even Hazal didn't pretend to know. She lives between the ache of what once felt inevitable and the hope that whatever is meant for her will arrive without forcing her to fracture herself to accept it. Maybe the next chapter is theirs, or maybe it belongs to someone neither of them has met yet. Maybe love returns in a form they cannot yet recognize. In the meantime, she works, learns, and keeps a gentleness for herself that took time to find. Viewers felt the weight of it because it wasn't about being perfect, it was about being sincere. She wasn't playing the tragic heroine or the untouchable icon. She was a woman who had believed in a life and had to unbelieve it, piece by piece, until she could stand. The industry might remember the timing and the spectacle of that public proposal, but fans will remember the smaller things she said. The way she described the sea breeze at the imagined ceremony, the way her eyes softened when she spoke his name even if she didn't say it often, the way she allowed herself to admit that her dream had included vows and rings and a song chosen for the first steps into a shared future. If you listen closely to that interview, you realize the real story isn't whether they reunite. It's about the price of silence and the courage it takes to speak after it. It's about how love can be both sanctuary and storm, and how sometimes the bravest thing is to confess you wanted something so ordinary and so enormous at the same time, a marriage, a home, a life hand in hand. As waves of support rolled in, the conversation moved beyond gossip into something tender. People wrote that her words made them feel seen, that they too had picked a dress they never wore, had bookmarked a song that never played, had stood at the edge of a plan that never began. That shared recognition turned Hazal's confession into a mirror, and many found their own reflection there. Will time be kind to them? Will timing finally match love instead of working against it? For now, only their actions will answer. Perhaps Erkan will show the steadiness that was missing before. Perhaps Hazal will find that forgiveness is not surrender but a door she holds the key to open or close as she chooses. Perhaps they will remain kind but separate, allowing respect to finish what romance could not. However it unfolds, this story has already marked them both, and in a way, it has marked everyone who followed it. Here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, we'll keep watching not for drama but for truth, the sort that doesn't need fireworks to be unforgettable. Tell us what you think. Do Hazal Subaşı and Erkan Meriç get another beginning, or are some seams too worn to stitch back together? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which Turkish stars you want us to explore next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join to support more stories like this. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you in the next video, right here on Turkish Spotlight Secrets.